Hey, hello again, whiskey friends, and welcome to another whiskey review. And if this is your first time here, hey, why don't you see how we do things, see if you like it? Maybe we become whiskey friends long term. Also, apologize for this glare going on. I need these leaves to come in. But if you have been here since we started the channel back in September 2022, I do outdoor reviews as much as I can when the weather allows. I just need these leaves to come in on all these trees behind me. Today, we have a very special pour to talk about. So, I had a cousin, special whiskey friend, grab me this months ago. I finally got my hands on it. It is the Old Carter Rye, and this one is batch 10. This is the first Old Carter Rye that I have owned. I have had samples of Old Carter Ryes in the past, but I don't remember those samples being this good. I mean, this one is really, really special. So stick around. We're going to talk about this one. We'll break it down. But I am really excited to have the opportunity to try this again and talk to you about it. Thank you for joining today, everybody. Let's kick off the show. It's a good pour there. Cheers for today's review. I got the Bourbon Junkies here. I always love this Glen. So for this Old Carter, this is a rye. It is batch 10. I've got bottle 72 of 2,532. And the proof on this thing is 116.6 proof. Now, there is no disclosure about the ages in the blend in this whiskey, the minimum ages. Now, it was distilled in Indiana. So we are talking about a blend of Indiana ryes. Now, I have quite a bit of experience with MGP ryes. Man, this one bats above. They did a heck of a job blending this thing. And as I mentioned off the top, I mean, I have tried Old Carter Ryes before. People have been very nice and shared samples with me. I don't remember those samples batting this high. When I said yes to buying this one, it was because so many other people were gushing over it in their reviews. Now I understand why, but we're going to get there. I'm going to break down the nose, break down the palate, and then we're going to go into the final score. I'm excited to show you that final score. It's going to be a first for me here since we've been using the scoring system. Cheers, everybody. Let's jump into this one. Oh, man. Now, one thing that sticks out to me initially on this one, a lot of the times when it comes to my flavor notes, I lean into dessert flavors. That's why I'm in this game. I love the dessert flavors that I get out of whiskey. This one, though, initially takes me more to a place. It's like a fresh meadow, fresh field of flowers. Very fitting here as I have these trees behind me that are just about to bloom and flood my yard with helicopters. Going back to the desserts, of course, lots of cinnamon roll initially on this one with some sweet cream icing. That icing and that vanilla definitely comes through. Lots of baking spices, and the spices themselves even dovetail into a clove. So that gets real dark. Now, that clove is accompanied by some tropical fruits. We're going to break down the fruits quite a bit as we go through the various layers of these flavors. But the initial fruits that I get are tropical. They lean into pineapple, maybe even a little mango for me. Now, the more I sit with this one, the fruits do transition a little bit into more of a citrus side, and that is where oranges and lemons emerge. Now, this thing is so flavorful. I don't know if you can see all the little specks around me, but the bugs have really come out, and they really want to sip my whiskey. This is my whiskey. The only other thing to call out, which is very nice, there is just a nice fresh oak on this. So that hints at some of the underlying ryes probably being on the older side. It's not all the time that I get that nice sweet oak out of a rye. Oh man, this one carries it just so well. And I think that's it here. I think that's all I got to call out on that one. It is just very initially on the nose, very sweet, just sugary sweet. Hmm. All right, let's get into the mouthfeel. Or into the palate, so I don't have to wait anymore for this taste. I'm pretty excited to taste this again. Mm. Ugh, utterly ridiculous. This thing is so good. I think I would describe the mouthfeel as perfect. I did give it a 10 out of 10 on mouthfeel. I think this is just absolutely incredible. Um, from a mouthfeel perspective, just the way it feels, the way it coats, how velvety it is, um, just it's just amazing on the tongue. Uh, I think it's the best mouthfeel experience that I've had this year. Um, the flavors, I'm gonna go with a cinnamon roll, but man, I said cinnamon roll on the nose. I'm gonna go cinnamon roll on the front too, but it's somebody was a bit heavy-handed with the cinnamon and the sugar when they made these cinnamon rolls. Hmm. This is me flicking off those bugs, by the way. Oh man, I'm still up front. I'm not even getting into mid palate yet. The sweet cream icing's there, the lemon was there, and that slight oak is there too. I mean, it is a flavor bomb, and it's so just has such a nice feel to it. Oh, I love it up front. Let's go to mid palate. Now, admittingly here, and this is where it lost very few of its points. Mid palate, it does take its foot initially off the gas. It's still delicious. It just takes its foot off the gas of that initial flavor bomb that it is. But what really emerges mid palate is still those fruit notes. So the pineapple, the mango transitions again to the citrus, and the lemon emerges. Still get those bright fruits. I still think about those bright fruits almost nonstop. The cinnamon comes through. You get brown sugar again. Um, and that clove. I mentioned the clove on the nose. It shows up mid palate again. Oh gosh, the finish though is just stopping me in my tracks here. You always know it's a good whiskey when I'm trying to describe something and I can't. Like trying to be in two places at once, trying to think about what I had at mid palate while I'm experiencing the finish. Mm. Oh man, and the finish is just a perfect finish for a rye. Gosh darn, this thing just hits. A lot of the same flavors that I've said through and through. So it continues to travel along those lines of the cinnamon roll, the sweet cream icing. The spices come through, such as that clove. And then the tropical fruits again. I'm still getting the pineapple, still getting the mango. The longer I let it sit, it does transition into more of those citrus forward fruits. Get the lemon, get the orange. Ah, there's a slight pepper, but for the most part, it's the fruits. Man, just that combination of all those dessert flavors and various fruit flavors just floors me. And then a little bit of that oak shows up as well. So there's some age in this one. I'm really curious about what ages they had in the barrels on this blend. But man, did they blend the crap out of this thing. Hmm. Gosh, these bugs are just as much in love with this rye as I am. Gosh, they're buzzing all over my face. Ugh, the adventures of doing these outdoor reviews. Let's pull up the scores, and this is going to be a first for me. Man, I scored something in the 90s. I was waiting for this to happen. So the Old Carter Batch 10 is the first that I've rated in the 90s. It's scored as a 92. How we get there is essentially three components. Now, you kind of heard me describe a whole bunch of things as I went through here as I was rattling the score. So there's a whole bunch of metrics behind these. But we got a flavor score that's worth 40%, experience score that's worth 50%, and then a value score worth 10%. Value could be controversial on this one, the interpretation of value, but I mean, it's a 92. It's really, really good. Flavors, I mean, I gushed over it. As I said, I think it takes its foot off the gas pedal a little bit mid-palate, but man, that's about the only thing I could fault it at. Experience, I mean, you heard me gushing about the mouthfeel. I mean, the depth and the complexity there and the balance is there. I mean, it is just a lovely, 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 perfect experience, especially for a rye. And then, yeah, value. So I gave it 9 out of 10 on this one. You know, I did the same thing recently to the 4-gate collaboration, Kelvin Collaboration 5. This one ran me 200 to 230. I can't quite remember what it was because I technically bought it back in October or something around there. But I don't feel bad about the price for the experience given. It gives me exactly what I need. Now, if something doesn't bat this high and I pay this much for it, it actually ticks me off. And then I dock it lots of points for that fact. But when it does bring a special experience, I can't then knock it for how expensive it was. I mean, they knew what they had and they priced it where it was at. This is a special pour. This is a special rye. I honestly think this is probably top 3 rye of all time for me. It's up there. That's how much I love this dang thing. So would I recommend it? So this is particularly with batch 10. Man, batch 10 is special. This is a special, special rye. Would I buy another? If I found one at MSRP, I probably would buy another, and I would stash it. I only got one of these. This is the only bottle I have. And I'm going to go share it with some people so they can enjoy it too, because it is just a special, special pour. And I'm glad I got to enjoy it with all of you on this lovely day. Well, thank you for joining me today, everybody. That concludes the review of the Old Carter Batch 10 Rye. Man, big, big fan of this one. I got a little bit left here that I am going to enjoy to the sunset behind me. Thank you for joining me today, whiskey friends. I'll catch you on the next whiskey review. Goodbye, everybody.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say